We all face adversities. When I was growing up, I faced adversities too. The antidote to adversity, to me, it was said, I had to build my resilience. I didn't know what resilience was. I understood it conceptually, it was being strong, but no one could teach me how to practice it. So I started to improvise. I thought being a tough guy would help me meet the adversities. So what did I do? I started to be aggressive. I started to use my aggression to face the adversity. But you see, aggression, anger, is a flame that burns. And when it burns you out, what is left is emptiness and pain. I got burnt out. And not only that, in that process, I started to affect the people around me. I was academically sound, but it reached to a point where I was expelled from the school. I swung into the other direction to face the emptiness. I started to experiment with drugs. In particular, I liked the psychedelics. I liked how it altered my consciousness, changed the normality, the reality. It gave me highs, it gave me perspective, but it was short-lived. It was me, just my conscious mind, kind of like being distracted. And deep within, the problems that plagued me were always there. At this juncture, someone suggested me I attend a 10-day Vipassana course. For me, then, meditation was something that old people did. A young guy like me, how would it help me in my day-to-day life? I didn't know it. I resisted first. But the pain and the suffering started to increase so much that I said, I've got nothing to lose. Might as well give it a try. I was briefed about the daunting timetable of the rules and regulations. About 10 hours a day, we had to meditate. I mean, that is pretty tough. Earlier on, when I started the course, I realized that this is not only a spiritual path, but this was a skill-based program. It developed 3 skills: how to develop morality, how to develop concentration of mind, how to purify the mind. On developing morality, we were told to observe 5 precepts: not to kill any living being while staying there, not to steal, not to do any sexual misconduct. We had to remain celibate, not to lie, not to use any intoxication. It was not a concept, it was not a theory, it was something that I had to practice moment to moment, day by day. The second skill was how to develop concentration of mind. We were introduced to a very, very simple technique. Just being aware of your breath, the incoming breath and your outgoing breath. The breath was always with me, but I never noticed it. The moment I started to notice it, I felt the connection with the mind. Any turmoil in the mind, the breath changed its course. Any emotion, the breath changed its course. So observing the breath was, in a way, observing the mind. What I realized was how weak and feeble my mind was. It was like an endless YouTube content creator, creating this content and that content, and my mind, going to the past and the future. and not staying in the present. On the purification of mind skill, the connection that I experienced was more deeper. You see, the unconscious mind, the mind-body connection is more deeper. Anything that happens in the mind, like anger or any emotion, there is the psychological side of it that we are cognizant about, and there's the biological process of it. We generally tend to focus on the psychological side of it, not the biological side. For example, if you're angry, on the psychological side, you feel the emotion, then you start to feel the content, and one after the other, your mind starts to roll. On the biological side, you'll feel that heat, the changes in your breath, the changes in your body temperature, all that. At a more deeper level, there's so many biochemical reactions that are happening in a single emotion. Now, what Vipassana teaches is not to follow the content, but the biological process, and to observe it objectively as much as you can, as a phenomenon that's happening inside you, and understand its impermanent nature, feel its impermanent nature. What that does is, this constant reaction that is happening from the unconscious, you are changing the unconscious pattern of your mind, the reaction pattern of your mind. Now finally, when the course ended, something deep within me shifted. For the first time in my life, I felt real peace, real happiness, real harmony. And what I felt was, I met my friend, the resilience. Because since this was a skill-based program, now it was like playing guitar. It was like practicing martial arts. It was like driving a car. The more hours I can put into, the more calmer, the more happier I can become. And my elusive friend, which was resilience, I found him. I knew what resilience was. Resilience was something that you practice every day, from day to day, as a skill. Thank you.